This is not just a story about Christmas. It is a story about kindness, connection, and a single moment that changed lives forever. On a cold December evening, soft snow fell over a small American town. Streets were decorated with glowing lights. Shop windows sparkled, and families gathered to celebrate Christmas together. Inside a warmly lit restaurant, a company-hosted Christmas dinner was underway. Employees laughed, glasses clinked, and holiday music played quietly in the background. At one table sat Rachel Thompson, a successful business manager in her early 30s. Beside her was her 7-year-old daughter, Emma. Emma was deaf. Rachel adjusted Emma's scarf and gently squeezed her hand. This dinner mattered to her. It was the first time she had brought Emma to a formal event like this, hoping her daughter would feel included, not invisible. But Emma looked around the room nervously. People talked. They laughed. They exchanged stories. Yet none of it reached her. Rachel leaned down and slowly spoke, hoping Emma could read her lips. "It's okay, sweetheart. We're just here to enjoy dinner." Emma nodded, but her eyes drifted away. She felt alone, surrounded by people, yet separated by silence. A few tables away sat Daniel Brooks, a quiet single father in his late 30s. He wore a simple sweater and watched the room with calm eyes. Beside him sat his young son, Noah. Daniel wasn't much for office parties. He had come only because the company insisted, but his attention wasn't on the food or the conversations. It was on Emma. He noticed how she studied people's faces, how she smiled politely but didn't speak, how she flinched when laughter suddenly erupted around her. Daniel knew that his late wife had been deaf, and after she passed away, Daniel made a promise to their newborn son that he would learn sign language. Not out of obligation, but out of love. Daniel gently tapped Noah's shoulder and signed something to him. Noah smiled and nodded. Then Daniel stood up and slowly walked toward Rachel's table. Rachel stiffened at first, unsure why a coworker was approaching. Daniel stopped at a respectful distance and smiled warmly. "Hi," he said softly. "I hope I'm not interrupting." Rachel shook her head. "No, it's fine." Daniel looked at Emma, and instead of speaking, he raised his hands. He signed. Emma's eyes widened. Her posture changed. Her face lit up with surprise. Then joy. She signed back, her hands moving eagerly, her smile growing wider with every second. For the first time that night, Emma was truly seen. Rachel froze. She watched her daughter laugh silently, her eyes sparkling in a way she hadn't seen all evening. You know sign language?" Rachel asked, her voice trembling. Daniel nodded. "My wife was deaf. I learned for her. And for my son?" Tears filled Rachel's eyes. Emma tugged at her mother's sleeve and signed quickly. Rachel didn't understand the words, but she understood the happiness. Daniel knelt slightly to Emma's level and signed again. "Merry Christmas," he said with his hands. Emma laughed and signed it back. That small exchange changed everything. The rest of the evening felt different. Emma wasn't isolated anymore. She had someone who spoke her language, someone who didn't treat her difference as a barrier. Before the night ended, Rachel walked over to Daniel. "Thank you," she said quietly. "You have no idea what that meant to her." "And to me?" Daniel smiled. "Sometimes all it takes is being understood." The Christmas dinner ended, but the connection did not. Weeks later, Rachel and Daniel met again, this time at a park, watching Emma and Noah play together. Conversations turned into friendship. Friendship turned into something deeper. Years later, Emma would tell people that her favorite Christmas wasn't about gifts or decorations. It was the Christmas when someone chose to speak her language. Because kindness doesn't need sound. It doesn't need grand gestures. Sometimes it only needs two hands and a heart willing to connect.